Daf Yomi, Tractate Bava, page 19b, part 2, starting with the words, it's towards the bottom of the page, actually. The words, Hahu Chamra D'achol Nama Upas Le'Lasala. The Gemara relates there was a certain donkey that ate bread, and while eating it, also broke the basket in which the bread was stored. Rav Yehuda obligated the owner to pay the full cost of the damage for the loss of the bread and half the cost of the damage to the basket. The Gemara asks, but why? Since it is typical for a donkey to eat bread, it is also typical for it to break the basket in which the bread is stored. Therefore, the owner should pay the full cost of the damage for the basket as well. The Gemara answers, this case is one where the donkey ate the bread and then afterward broke the basket, a sequence which demonstrates that its intent was to cause damage. The breaking of the basket is therefore a subcategory of goring, and the owner is liable to pay only half the cost of the damage. Okay. The Gemara asks, but is it typical for a donkey to eat bread? The Gemara raises a contradiction against this based on a braita. If it ate bread, or meat, or a cooked fish, its owner must pay for half the cost of the damage. What? Is it not referring to a domesticated animal and thereby implying that it is not typical for a domesticated animal to eat bread? The Gemara rejects this. No. It is discussing an undomesticated animal which does not typically eat bread, but a domesticated animal does eat bread. I guess that would include a donkey. The Gemara questions this explanation. If the braita is discussing an undomesticated animal, then it is typical for it to eat meat. The Gemara clarifies, the braita is referring to meat that is roasted, and it is not typical for an undomesticated animal to eat roasted meat. Or, if you wish, say, instead that the halacha of the braita is not stated with regard to an undomesticated predator, but with regard to a deer, which does not ordinarily eat meat and bread. Or, if you wish, say that actually it is discussing a domesticated animal, but it is discussing a case where the animal ate at the table. And this is not typical behavior for an animal.